So you want to ride to Sturgis? Here's my advice. Alright guys, I've been seeing a lot of people comment or do posts about riding to Sturgis. What's your tips, what's your tricks, whatever, any little bit of advice about riding cross country and going to Sturgis. Because let's face it, if you're going to ride to Sturgis, there's a very good chance you're either riding from way south, east coast, or west coast. Sturgis is kind of right in the middle, all the way north. So you're going to be doing some riding more than likely. You're probably passing through mountains, deserts, prairie land, all these different desolate areas. So I went to Sturgis last year on a solo trip for the first time. Let me tell you about my trip and some things that I feel like I desperately needed or really helped out. First, I left my job at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in North Carolina and went straight to Dayton, Ohio. My biggest plan was to get through the mountains before dark. Also, did not plan on riding after dark. It's my first tip. If you're going to travel across country, especially in the summertime, it's not going to get dark till 9 o'clock in most places. Don't ride past then, because you still need to find a place to stop, eat if you didn't eat along the way. I usually try and not stop for food other than snacks till I'm done for the night. Because if you stop, eat, you're not going to want to get back on the bike and keep going. So around 9 o'clock or a little bit before then, depending on where you're at, I'll stop, look for a place, found one in Dayton, Ohio. Now what I did is I stayed on the farthest part of the town near the highway, so in the morning I could get up, get on the highway and go. I didn't want to be dealing with traffic, first thing in the morning, everyone trying to go to work. I don't want to deal with that. So we left there and just cannonballed to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We made it to South Dakota on the second day. We knew I was not going to make it to Sturgis, so that's fine. Again, stopped plenty before dark, went and found something to eat, showered, got a good night's rest so I could get up, go the rest of the way. The next day I was in Rapid City in the afternoon, around lunchtime. Perfect. Now riding home, I cannonballed, did the trip in 2 days. 2 900-mile days, just straight getting it. With the same deal. When it was getting close to dark, about 8:30, I think 8 o'clock maybe, I did stop for dinner. I started looking for places to stay. I was looking for certain towns because obviously I didn't want to stay at a place that the hotels were going to be really expensive. Trying to find a good deal. So stayed. Second day, hauled ass. Had to deal with rain most of the way coming home, but coming home right about nightfall, I was only a couple hours from home. At that point, you're going home, let's get it. Finished out the trip, had the whole next day to relax, have a good time before I had to go back to work. But pretty easy trip when you're prepared. So I just wanted to give a few tips and tricks of the things that I had, things that helped, and things that you might need. First and foremost, luggage. Even though it was a solo trip, I still carried my little pack here. This was mainly for, a lot of it was dirty clothes coming back home. And in the top pouch here, I had things like water and snacks. Because when you have this top bag, you don't want to get into this bag that often. My 2 saddlebags had clothes bags. Those little like Harley duffel bags that you can put in here. Those were there and I didn't really want to take them out. So this was more like tools, a couple different things that I could just have access to without doing anything else. So a little bit of food, a little bit of water. Definitely have food and water on you. It gets hot out there. Riding to Sturgis, more than likely you're going to deal with all types of weather. All of it. Hot, cold, rain, wind, all of it. You may not deal with snow, but you're going to deal with a lot. So top bag, have a bag that's accessible for you to get to. I'd stop at a gas station, fill up, take a little bit of drink, uh, usually water, Gatorade, something like that. Have a snack and just keep going. Don't have to go into the store unless I need to replenish a drink or snack, whatever. Second thing, tools. Have a little bit of a tool pouch on you. Things might loosen up. Things happen. You're going to want to be able to do minor things on the side of the road. It may sound silly, but when you start going across I-80 or whatever it is from the west, there's not a lot out there. So you're going to want some tools. Definitely, especially if you're on a Harley, probably most any motorcycle, Torx, Allens, like 24-in-1 screwdriver is great. Phillips flat, a couple of wrenches, maybe some sockets and a ratchet. Just the simple stuff. Obviously, if it's major, you're going to need to find some place to probably work on it anyways. But it's a motorcycle. Things will loosen up on you. You want to be able to tighten them down. Another thing, may not sound like you need it. Shoes. Bring a second pair of shoes. If you have a full-on rain suit, by all means, but still, bring a second pair of shoes. Because the worst thing is getting somewhere, being soaked all day. You can peel everything else off, but you can't replace your shoes if you don't have another pair. And they can take a little while to dry out. So if you can fit it, especially if you're solo riding and you can get some luggage, get you a second pair of shoes. If you are solo riding, you can get a pack like this. I had this sitting here. Reason for it is I use it as a backrest. So you can think about that. Another thing, rain suit if you have it, but jackets. Some type of jacket, coat. I had a windbreaker jacket. This helped out so much. I had to deal with a lot of rain coming home. This helped out a lot. Plus, I was cold coming home. I stayed in Lead, which is just west of one of the most popular, Deadwood. Couldn't think of it. I stayed just west of Deadwood, which is pretty much just west of Sturgis. There was a huge temperature difference between where we stayed at in Lead, because we stayed at one of those ski resorts. Obviously nothing going on in the summertime, but that was pretty high up a mountain. When I left Sturgis Sunday morning, it was in the 50s. That was kind of chilly, and it was starting to sprinkle a little bit. So that jacket helped a lot. And once we got down and out, after an hour, sun come up completely. It was better, but you need to be prepared for all terrain. Secondly, you need to be comfortable. If you got a cool, stylish seat that's not super comfortable, you're gonna hurt. Same thing with the bars. The more comfortable you are, the better you are. I was able to ride tank to tank multiple times I would get off with my tank on E, fill it up, grab a sip of water, hop back on and go. Now if you have a water bottle holder or a cup holder or something, that could definitely help you. I was probably a little dehydrated, but I like to just keep going. Another thing that'll help you is a bar bag or something that can hold your stuff. A phone mount for your phone if you use your phone for anything other than just Bluetooth music, if you use it for maps or anything like that. But a bar bag is nice where you can put your phone, wallet, keys, but they're still very accessible if you have tolls or anything you may need, and you're not having to sift through your bags or anywhere else that has all the other stuff in there. Because it can be kind of fatiguing to be sitting on a wallet or have keys poking in your pocket, all those types of deals. But other than that, go at your own pace, do what you need to do, leave time. Don't forget about time zone changes. When I was going there and coming back, I did a time zone change each day. I wasn't able to get through both time zones in the same day, so it wasn't that bad. But you do have time zone changes. For most people, be aware of that. But enjoy the trip. Traveling cross country is not that bad. It really isn't. If you haven't done it, get on your bike and go. You don't worry about all these possibilities. Just have a few things to be prepared. For me, the biggest ones: be comfortable, have some food and snacks, water, whatever. A little bit of tools to be helpful, overpack, bring you an extra pair of shoes, and I shouldn't have to say it, but make sure your bike is mechanically sound. Check over everything, brakes, tires, uh, probably do an oil change beforehand. I did almost 4,000 miles, right about 4,000 miles on my trip. So I did a full oil change, all fluids, and cleaned out the air filter, all that kind of stuff before I went. Do all those things, have a rad time. One other thing, I hear this a lot also, people who are a little weary about going to a super populated place, they say, oh, I don't want to go to Sturgis during the rally, I'll go off season. Do not do that. Uh, I went the second weekend, and if you have those feelings, maybe you should do the same thing. Go about midweek or get there about midweek and just stay through the second weekend. All your bartenders and shop owners and everything are going to be super tired by then, but you can go then. There's going to be less people, but by the last day, there was already bars out of alcohol, places out of food. All these things were drying up because Sturgis is not a populated place. It's mainly just bikers. Daytona, Laconia, all those places, those are hopping in places without bikers there. So if you go out of season, you're gonna miss out on a lot. And with Sturgis, everyone thinks just downtown Sturgis, but there's more to do. There's so many places to ride, so many other places to go. But you have Rapid City, you have Sturgis, you have Deadwood, and then you have all these surrounding places around to go and see. That spreads everybody out. It is not as populated and dense as it's made to seem. So go, enjoy yourself. Comment down below if you have any questions. Hopefully I can try to answer them. Unfortunately, we will not be going to Sturgis this year. Me and my wife, we both work day jobs, and we have other things going on. We're not able to make it to Sturgis this year because it does take a week out of our vacation. We have other things we're going to do. Now, next year, we plan to go to Sturgis, and we'll film all that. But yeah, if you have any questions, comment down below. Like this video if you found anything informative or you just like our videos. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And as always, keep it wretched.